because we have forgotten we belong to each other. One love, one heart, one destiny. We are one humanity. Be the reason someone smiles today. Be the reason someone feels loved. And believe in the goodness in people. We're all equal because we are different. We are one humanity. We are one humanity. One God, many faces. One family, many races. One truth, many traces. One humanity. One heart, many graces. One life, many places. One world, many spaces. One humanity. We are one humanity. We are one humanity. We are one humanity. We are one.
I don't need
Well,
an
hi,
introduction.
Kimberly.
I don't need no stinking introduction. But he's so good at it, isn't he? I call him our MC instead of our
Yeah, I'm
our
the Bob
platform
Barker
leader.
of See You Well.
All right, one humanity. We are all one. We're all one humanity. Do we all believe that?
Yes. Mostly.
Okay.
Not all of it.
It depends on who we're all one with, right? Yeah, I got it. So we've been offering you a lot of information lately about how we're related, how we are connected to each other, the importance of that, what it means as a community, what it means as a planet, and what it means individually. This is what we are here for, to know that connectivity, not just with each other, not just with ourselves, but with our higher source. I call it the universal light. Other people call it God, Allah, whatever you happen to call it is the right thing because it all means the same thing. I used to get so tripped up on terminologies. I used to drive myself nuts. It's like somebody would say God or Jesus and I would just go. But I realized how childish that was, and I kind of outgrew that. So as one humanity, that's one of the things that we know that actually fuels us to connect, to help, to pray for each other, to be part of this beautiful community that we are here in Cottonwood. And that's what we want to focus on today, is the energy, the connectivity that we have with each other right here. In Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins writes, in this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. Who doesn't want that? Yes. But let's just look at the converse side. Conversely, and I'm going to say, every deterioration we create in our private world deteriorates the world at large for everyone. So we can take the credit for all the good stuff. I understand that, and that's what we want to do. We want to take the credit for the good stuff. But the bottom line is, you got to take the responsibility for the bad stuff too. And that is sort of the overall thing today, because I got, well, I'll just say one of my favorite projects right now is finding ways to keep my vibration high. There's nothing more important to me in this planet, on this world, than my happiness, my high vibration. It's taken me a long time to just even get this point. So I want to just say that right now. If I tell you no, I can't do something, there's a good reason for it. And it's not personal, it's personal to me that I need to keep a high vibration about something. So But now I know there's an even more empowering reason for raising your vibration by becoming the best version of yourself possible. Because you can also help others do the same. And when we talk about, let me just say this, let me just get this out front here. When we talk about how crappy the world is, how crappy our government is, what's going on at the White House, what's going on down at the border, you know what? If you're bitching about it, you ain't helping.
That's right.
So I just want to point that out. I've done the same thing, but this is part of my raising my vibration. I'm not doing that anymore. It's not that, I take it back, it is important to me, but there's so little I can do about it until November 2020, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I just don't need to get involved in the garbage, because that messes with my vibration. So a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine asked me how I keep my vibe really high. Thank you, Linda. And in the midst of all the chaos in our country, and talk about it at my next talk. So that's what we're doing. While I was working on my message, though, it was Thursday night, I turned to Arvel and I said, you know, am I really that happy? Or am I just trying to fool people on the outside? And he goes, no, you're really that happy. And he gave me this look, and I said, what? What's the look? And he goes, it's just weird. So at that point, I realized just how high my vibration was and how well I'm doing with the alignment with my universe. And what does that feel like? It's like every time there's a snag or a wrinkle in something, mistiming, miscommunication, the solution is right behind it. I don't even have to worry about it. And just by way of illustration, last week or a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Arvel threw away something that was really important to me. And I came home and discovered it. I said, where is it? And he goes, oh, I threw it away. So I probably gave him a dirty look and thought one or two things, but I just decided, I said, well, where is it? He's like, it's in the dumpster. I said, oh. So I'm thinking the worst at this point, but I thought, okay, I'm just going to go out there because I didn't want to get all wrapped up in the drama because everything had been going really well and I just wanted to keep that high vibe. So I started walking out. He followed me behind me. We went over to the dumpster, and there everything I had been looking for was right there. I didn't, it was just that easy. And then last night, these are just some really simple things that I have come up with the last couple of days, but then last night, I got a text from Linda Nelson, and we're all going to hold her in prayer today also. And she couldn't be here today because she was having another flare-up. So I thought, okay, how are we going to do this for next Sunday? Because we need somebody on the board to run things in the back. I thought, okay, I got Jan. Jan's on board. We're going to get her up trained. And I thought, oh, who are we going to get to work on the board? Because I didn't know yet if Roxanne was going to be here or not. So we just finished Kirtan, and I was loading up the truck. I went looking for Charlie, and I said, Charlie, do you know anything about, music, board, mixing board? And he goes, well, yeah, that's how Judith and I met, that he was running sound. So I said, okay. I said, you're our next guy. So he's going to be here to help, but it happened just that quick. It probably wasn't more than 3 minutes that solution was taken care of. So anyway, that's kind of stuff that I really like about being in sync and being in alignment with the universe and being the highest vibration I can be. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm really close. I'm getting there. And why? Because every time I acknowledge that I'm working on my vibration, that I've done a good job, it just feels so good. So how do we do that in a world of chaos? How do we do that? That was the question I was asked. And also, the other one I was asked is, how come you don't get upset about the suffering children and there was other things? Don't you care about suffering children and abused animals and shootings and the environment? Well, let me just say, in Nashville, I worked with Shih Tzu rescue specifically, but animal rescue in general. Not just the fluff stuff you see on TV. I was down in the trenches, ninja style, rescuing animals out of people's yards that were in terrible shape. And in the beginning, I just felt so righteous. I was just so righteous. I was one of the good guys. But that righteousness was on the other end of outrage. It was on the other end of outrage, but I still felt righteous. I was doing a good thing. It was like a drug. Every time we'd rescue and get it into foster, and it would take it to the vet, get it vetted, put it in the foster, neuter, spay, everything. This animal's now ready to be adopted. I just felt so good doing that. But the more I focused on rescue, the more I saw the ugliness that is the potential for any type of rescue that you need to do. That feeling of outrage, that feeling of necessitating rescue turned into anger, just rage at people. It turned into depression. I was seriously depressed by this point. After about 2 years of doing this, I was just at the bottom of the barrel. I was not the shiny penny I am today, but I was getting sicker and sicker and more depressed. And I told myself, this world is so ugly. These people are the pustule, the buttocks of the earth. And this is not me. This was never me. So I had to walk away from rescue. I didn't even recognize myself anymore. We had just lost our first rescue named Abby Dabby Doo. So other things have been happening, and so I went to my doctor and I said, he said, well, have you been thinking about this? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about that? Yes. And he goes, okay, we're going to get you started right away on some antidepressants. So he started me on antidepressants and a sleeping pill. And after about 2 weeks, I think I took my very first deep breath that I had taken in at least 2 years. When you're depressed, you don't really breathe. You just real shallow breath. This was just such a cleansing. I started seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I had walked away from rescue. I wasn't seeing dying and abused and starving animals everywhere I looked, because that's what happens when you start focusing on something. You see more and more of it. So I was looking for a long-term change. It was about that time Arlo and I started listening to and watching Abraham Hicks. Yep, that was one of our first. And the words that stuck through with me throughout all these years are, you can't get sick enough to help the sick get well. You can't get poor enough to help the poor be prosperous. And you can't suffer enough to stop those who are suffering. So when I'm asked, do I care? Absolutely. Do I feel compassion? Without a doubt. Am I going to make myself sick with worry and get depressed about things that I have no control over? That doesn't do anybody any good. Least of all me. It doesn't do my family any good. It doesn't do my community any good. What does? Raising your vibration. And that doesn't mean to turn a blind eye. That simply means know what you're capable of doing. Because it's in that knowing what you can do where you find your power, where you find the capability that the Creator gave you this time around. You can do something. Sometimes you can't do anything, but you can do something. You can write a letter to your congressman, congresswoman. You can donate money. You can do whatever you can do. But to
organize for October 13th.
Or be an organizer for October 13th. Thank you. So these are the things that you can do that will raise your vibration. Then you've got something really good to feel about. You've done something really good. So, The truth, the big truth, the capital T truth, and I want you to really, really, really hear me and own this. When we look at a person or event and think, oh my God, how could they do this? This is horrible. It's outrageous. Someone should do something. How could this happen? You are in fact making the situation worse. You're adding vibration, you're adding energy into something you don't want. So why do that? Why do that? It just doesn't do what you want to do. I think what we're all saying here, what my friend was saying, not Linda, this wasn't Linda, this is another friend, about asking about don't you care. The thing is, I lost my train of thought. Must have been a lie, must have been a lie. No.
She said you didn't care.
Yeah, she said I didn't care, but the truth is I care, and I want to do what will help the situation. And what will help the situation is to acknowledge first that everything is perfect in divine light. The universe is perfect in divine light. Another thing is that you're just going to feel better. You're just going to feel better holding somebody up. We call it holding space. Holding space is a great way to not put negative energy into somebody. You just say, okay, I love you, you're perfect, I know this is all going to work out for you, I see it now, whatever it is. Because that person, it's just like praying. This is what we do. Arvel's been working real hard with the prayer partners, and Velda and Arvel been working on this format for prayer that goes along with our beliefs. Our beliefs are not that you're going to pray to God and that he or she is going to answer that prayer based on arbitrary factors. And so what we do is we hold that person in light. We acknowledge their pain. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging their pain. Acknowledge what they're going through. Love them through it. And you can be there for them. And your energy, your positive, and let me just say this too. Dr. Bruce Lipton, my daughter and I were talking about him the other day. Dr. Bruce Lipton tells us that there are approximately 50 trillion cells in our bodies. Each cell produces 1.4 volts. Now that's not a lot. Anybody that knows electricity, that's not a lot. If each one of those cells is putting off 1.4 volts, our body is producing and generating, emitting 70 trillion volts. Now, we don't get electrocuted because that doesn't take into account amps and things like that, because it's really amps that are going to kick your butt. But what we do know is that that electricity that our body generates, it's the aura. The aura. It's our electric body, and that every thought we have goes out to the universe. It just spreads everywhere out to the universe. So if we are putting 70 trillion volts of electricity, of energy, all the same word, all the same meaning, frequency, energy, vibration, put all that out there, and that mixes with the person whom you are praying for, because that person wants healing, that person wants peace, that person needs money, that person needs whatever. When you hold that space for them, your good vibes are matching theirs and giving it more power. Now you've got like 140 trillion volts out there. And so now we got our crack prayer partner team. So we got about 8-10 people that are all doing this same thing. That is the power of prayer. The power of prayer is not begging anybody to do something for you. It is aligning with the source of the universe. It's aligning with yourself. It's aligning with what you want. That is the big T, the big truth. Remember back in the 60s? That's why I had to play that Glenn Campbell song today, Good Vibration. Even though it wasn't him that made it popular, but the Beach Boys back in the 60s. We talk about somebody's vibe. Remember we had good vibes, bad vibes, weird vibes? Remember Uncle Fred? He's got like a weird vibe going. Anyway, these vibes are waves of energy that we emit all the time. Couldn't stop them until maybe when you die, they stop. I don't even know if that's true. They don't really stop because energy doesn't disappear. So, okay, where's all my notes here? I have some really good stuff here, too. Oh, good, I brought up the sound and lighting checklist. Okay, so let's just get right now to my list of things that I have done over the past year or so to keep my vibration high, because that's the crux of this whole thing. She wanted help on how to keep your vibration high, how to not get wrapped up in the crap. And there's a lot of it. I agree, there's a lot of it. Doesn't have to be your crap. Doesn't have to be my crap or our crap. So, all right. Number 1. And if you need any help with this, need me to repeat it, because I was just a little bit busy this week. If you need any help with this, just let me know. I'll be happy. I'll post it as a blog anyway with these ideas. So number 1, I got 15. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Be conscious of people you're spending your time with. You know? Yeah, that's a big one. Let go of those that don't serve you. If they don't make you feel good, if you can't raise their vibration, if you can't raise each other's vibration, you know, send them with a blessing. I love you. Doesn't mean I have to hang out with you. Okay? So and number 2, take times to reevaluate your projects and their priorities. Be brutally focused and write down your top 5 priorities. Family, friends, church, money, business, whatever your top 5 are, write those down. And then next to it, I want you to make another list of the top 5 things you spend most of your time on. I think we have a winner back there. And so what you spend most of your time on. And just be really honest with yourself. Nobody needs to see this. And then compare the two. If you are not spending the most time in your top value, your top priority, you're doing it wrong. So you'll see really quickly what you're going to want to change to help raise your vibration, because then you'll be in congruency with yourself. You'll be in integrity with yourself. That's what Arvel calls it. You're in integrity with yourself. That raises your vibration. Number 3, pay attention to the way you talk about yourself. Talk to yourself, talk about yourself. And the way you talk about other people as well. I'm trying to skip through these here. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, watch videos of brilliant minds like Dr. Lipton. Yay! He's great for science-based spirituality and how they connect. Eric Ho is fabulous on manifestation. NDEers, near-death experiencers, they're so incredible. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It speaks to everybody. Spirit is spirit, doesn't matter what your beliefs are. And there's tons of them out there. Then enter, what did I write here? Oh, they're entertaining and uplifting. All right. So stop talking about what you don't have. Stop talking about other people. Stop talking about how you're not good enough. It's okay to feel down. Just don't park there. Negative talk sends us down into a perpetual loop, and the only way to get out is to feed the positive thoughts and let the negative ones go. And again, you don't have to be angry about the negative thoughts. Just bless them, send them on their way. If you run out of things to talk about ideas, not people. Number 6, start a gratitude journal. First time I started one, boy, I knew I needed it. I could only think of one thing at the time to be thankful for. Yeah, that was about the time that I had started the antidepressants. I was on those for 2 years. But I could only think of one thing to really be grateful for. Of course, I have pages and pages now, but the other day, Susie Harmon was telling me that the Jews have a prayer for everything. Remember that? Washing your hands, eating, getting up in the morning, going to sleep at night, and even pooping. Good to know, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you should be thankful, right? Okay. Next, love yourself. There's an African proverb that reads, when there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. Be your own best friend, because the only thing that you have in the end is yourself. Respect your boundaries and values, listen to your body and soul, get enough sleep and exercise. These basic factors are huge parts in raising your vibration. Spend more time outdoors. Even in the heat of the summer, there's early morning, late at night, go outside. Watch the stars. That's my other favorite thing to do. My little app showing me where all the stars are and the planets. I highly recommend Star Tracker. Number 10, be mindful of what you eat. Read the ingredients. Spend time at the grocery shopping. You can't raise your vibration if all you're putting in your mouth is synthetic or fake. It has no nutritional value, so consume whole foods that your body recognizes. The foods that we eat affect us on a mental, physical, and emotional level, so be mindful of what you put inside yourself. Start a book club. Start a poetry club. Start a discussion group, a writing club. Well, we have a writing club, a writing group. Do these things that are enlightening, that are stimulating to the brain. Meditate every day, even just for 15 minutes. That's really all you need. Just take a break in the middle of the day. Listen to more music. And if you've run out of music, Arvel has his for sale. Be mindful of what you eat. You are what you eat. And finally, quit watching the news. I've said it before. This is my big bugaboo area. It doesn't mean you need to stick your head in the sand, but it means be picky about what you watch. I've developed an early warning system. If I see something that has an interesting headline, and I go to several different sources, so I get kind of a rounded idea here. But if I see something that's interesting, I'll click on it. If my chest starts getting tight, yeah, or if I go, I have to go click. So that's just how easy it is. If something like that gets you tight and anxious, click it off. I figure if it's something really important, what?
14, the nap game.
14 what?
Is the nap game.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take naps.
Oh, napping. Take a nap. I don't know what that. If there's anything I need to know on TV, in the news, well, first of all, just briefly, the news, once it's on TV, once it's on the internet, it's already happened. Unless it's breaking news. And 99.9% of the time, it's not going to have anything to do with me. And I figure if it's something really important, somebody will post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm good with that. So if you want to make things better for your family, our CUL, our community, our state, country, planet, raise your vibration. Use any or all of these that you want. Being in a higher state is going to become more important to you and the rest of the world as we become more aware of our shadows, of clearing our energy. We'll begin to feel that difference between light and dark energy, and we easily and effortlessly move into the 5th dimension. Find peace where you are. Let go of the stories you've been telling yourself. Let go of the victim role most of us are playing. Observe your thoughts. Instead of attaching emotions to them, let them go. You don't have to attach any kind of emotion to anything you're thinking. Change your environment. Be mindful of who you are, who you listen to, what you eat, who you're spending time with. You'll find you're happier more often. Things don't bother you as much, and you'll notice that not so much of the bad stuff shows up in your orbit. When you've been a deliberate happy seeker, you can help those around you do the same. You are beautiful. You're a divine light being. I tell you this stuff every week. Is anybody finally getting it?
Yeah.
How beautiful you are and what bright lights you are? I mean, all of you light workers, everybody can feel it, can see it. And that's why I think we all, well, of course, Sarvel and I have to come back, but I think that's why you guys come back. You feel it. So keep letting your light shine, because this is who you really are. You are a brilliant spiritual being in physical form. The more you consciously strive to shine, love, and choose joy, the more effortless, fulfilling, and rewarding it becomes. One step at a time, shine on, people, shine on. Thank you very much. Okay, let's everybody take a deep breath.
My voice. Here inside. Whispering like the wind. Pulling me within. conditioned mind. The key is within, limited only by our ability to imagine. For the world is just a creation of the mind, and as we say no to what weighs us down, and yes to what lifts us up, we step into our true divine self.
Wow, wonderful. So, in the infancy of the Center of Universal Light, I saw the three of them, Jan and I, in Sedona at their concert, and they blew me away. And I walked out saying, wow, they were good. Okay, and then the following Sunday, I saw Arvel, and I was starstruck. Okay, so, there's the dude. Anyway, it's been my pleasure to know them.
To you, deep